Where is the chairperson?
Good morning, Honorable Mkalipi.
Nice, peace. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Yourself?
I'm fine. Oh, purple girl. You look so good.
I'm following the chair's cue. You know, chair always looks so bright. So I thought let's be bright today.
That's good. We must start our day with a bright, positive mood. Where is the chair? Must I take the chairmanship? Must I start the coup?
Aye.
Hi, Peggy. The insurrection. Must we take over, insurrection? Because the
absence of direction.
It's a counter-revolutionary or something. Stofile.
Madam.
Must we take over? We are ready, Chief.
No. That will be incorrect.
Insurrection.
Why government in military? We're ready to combat ready.
Ready, Chief. We're combat ready.
Morning, colleagues. Morning, everyone.
Recording in progress.
Just want to confirm the presence of the following colleagues. Honorable Spies, Honorable Hadebe with an H, Honorable Kunevald, Honorable Mkalipi, Honorable Keza, Honorable Butelezi. I want to welcome the minister. She's here in our. Good morning, Minister. The MEC, welcome MEC, good morning.
Morning, Honorable Chief.
Then we have the following apologies of the three colleagues that are still on sick leave. Honorable Kavan Chava, Honorable Shaw, Honorable Mavika. Then we have the apology of DM Wapela, Departmental Commitments, DG, Departmental Commitments, Mr. Tifosi will lead the delegation. And then the list of attendees, we have got the Mayor, Butelezi from Ditsabotla in our midst. Also from Salga, let me welcome Councillor Stofile, including the COO, Lance Joel. Yes, so yeah, I should think that's who we are today. Did I omit somebody that will feel? Honorable Direko, you are here as well? Yes. You're welcome, colleagues. And I think we just need to start with our meeting. I don't think it's gonna be a very long meeting. Yes, but just some background for those that were not with us, in particular the minister and the team. Colleagues will recall on the 5th of May, we were in Northwest, especially meeting with Nakamudiri Mulema district and the locals under its jurisdiction. At that time, you recall, Ditsabotla local municipality was represented by warring factions, with the chief whip insisting that Section 139 intervention team was not recognized by the municipality. Colleagues, you will also recall that we did not receive a presentation from this municipality because the mayor was locked out of the municipal precincts by a rival political faction. And then for us as a committee, it was an outright demonstration of the true extent of the instability in that municipality. According to the report that we have received from the Mayor Councillor Buthelezi, the unfortunate situation still prevailed as of 10 May at the time of compiling our oversight report. And then the other issue, the issue around of the status of the council, it remained in question that the whole municipal administration, namely the chief financial officer, the director corporate services, and the director planning, they were both unavailable to do their work. And then the other critical issue that is of concern to us, it was with regard to the MPEC, which was reported to be dysfunctional due to the political infighting. So in that respect, it means then there's been no MPEC oversight reports that has been forthcoming over the past few years. And then we know that at that time when we were on oversight, the MEC informed that he had to seek a court relief against the municipality because council has been intent on flouting the law and defying the MEC directives. Judging by the municipality report that we've just received, you can see now it remains business as usual in Ditsabotla following our oversight. And then the issue that we are confronted with again is the issue around the Section 139 1B intervention, the intervention team. And then you deal about the issue of the lawful mayor and the executive committee. They were still denied access to the municipal precinct. It means it's the intervention team, the mayor, and the lawful exco. It is now more than 2 months since the date of the mayor's report that he gave us, and it is important for us to understand, MEC, what progress has been made in addressing the political instability in the municipality. Then you read the mayor's report that has been presented to us. I think for us, this situation is unacceptable. And then on our side as well, we've done oversight. And then if we don't follow up on this matter, it will then mean that even our first oversight that side was a waste of time. And then the issue that we've read reports, MEC, that there is a national cabinet resolution to dissolve some 45 municipalities around the country. And then in our case, I think the situation in Ditsabotla, Minister, it makes the municipality also a good candidate for intervention, because the municipality has been under Section 139 intervention on numerous occasions, but has never been dissolved. I think one is of the view that the sooner the MEC implements the cabinet resolution in Ditsabotla and other identified municipality, the better. There's no reason for a municipality to exist if its main focus is on fighting internal political battles than providing basic services to the community. Having said that, I should think I'll allow the MEC to be the first one that deals with this matter, and then the mayor will come later. Over to you, MEC. MEC Twaile. Can you unmute your microphone so that you can start talking?
Good morning, Honorable Chairperson. My name is Risiri Streetladi. I'm the PLO for Honorable Jaile. I am with Honorable Jaile. The reason that I raised the hand is because he has just been taken for an interview now. So he wanted me to report to you that he's addressing interview of it, and then he will be with us now. Hence, I am just coming in for him. Thank you, Chair.
So you couldn't tell the people of the interview that we're in a meeting and you must present. That's what you're telling us.
No, I give
I
up.
can't believe this. Unbelievable.
Must we wait for him to finish the
PLO.
interview?
PLO. Is the PLO here?
Yes, I'm PLO for Honorable MEC.
I mean, you must talk to him to get his priorities right.
Yes,
That
I'm going to talk to
interview,
him now.
he could have scheduled. Tell him the meeting is waiting for him now.
Thanks, Chairperson.
So we are stuck here, network, the minister, everybody's here, and then he
Just
can't present.
give me a minute, the Honorable Chairperson.
It's unacceptable, honestly. It's unacceptable. Mayor Butelezi? Mayor Butelezi? Are you also taking an interview?
Honorable Chair.
Yeah, you can be
No.
briefing us. You can be briefing
No,
us on.
I'm here, Honorable Chair.
Yeah, brief us quickly on what is happening in that municipality.
Honorable Chair. No, thanks very much, Honorable Chair. Members of the portfolio committee and present, our honorables, everyone has been invited to the meeting. Just here's opportunity, Honorable Chair, to the
Is it me, Chair? I don't hear him.
I was thinking it's only myself. We can't hear him, ne? Colleagues.
Yes, Chair.
Oh, Chair, we can't hear him.
Majoro, Mayor Butelezi, Mayor Butelezi, can you hear us? Councillor Butelezi? Councillor Butelezi?
In the Northwest Province. Yes, Chair,
the network is bad. It's terrible, Councillor Butelezi. Can you try to switch off that video and see if we can hear you? Nobody can hear you. Councillor Butelezi? try to get a proper network or connection. We are battling to hear you. Is the PLO back with the MEC? I see the hand of the MEC. It's
Yes,
up.
yes. I'm back, Honorable Chair. Thank you very much.
How do you treat asthma, honestly? You could have
We were
told those
struggling with
people
the
of the
technology.
interview you are in a meeting.
We apologize. I was struggling with this technology, Honorable Chair.
No, we are told you are busy attending an interview.
Now he's lying. Now he's
Honestly.
lying in Parliament. The Honorable MEC.
No, when we connected to the multiple activities, when I tried to shift to the another one, I was having a struggle. I had to request that you be notified I'm struggling.
Chair, Honorable Chair.
Mayor, mute your microphone. You'll come after
Honorable
the
Chair.
MEC. Yes, I think you are having connection problems, Councillor Buthelezi. Mute your microphone. The MEC is on the podium. You'll come after him if there's anything that you need to add. Over to you, MEC Kwaile.
Okay, thank you very much, Honorable Chair and the leadership of the portfolio, the collective. On the issue of Ditsabotla, my explanation would suggest that the battles at that municipality have been fought at the level of the courts. And when Honorable Councillor Buthelezi challenged the decision of the municipal council at the court to say he must be reinstated, the council at the time had already removed the Honorable Councillor Buthelezi not only as a mayor, but also as a councillor. And the advice that we then gave that the Honorable Councillor Buthelezi was that he should seek, amongst others, to make IEC respondent, because the issue of him reinstated as a councillor would remain as a prerogative and the competence of the IEC, whereas the court ruled in his favor that he should be reinstated. The only trick was that he has left outside IEC, which was supposed to have reinstated him. On his removal, he was replaced by another councillor, meaning literally there was no vacancy, and that the reversal of the councillor who replaced him would be done by the IEC. That's number one. And as a result, therefore, we have the scenario where one would then say, in our understanding, would have only the Ntate Morero as a mayor at this point in time until this correction is made through again the processes of the court. That's number one. Secondly, we, as the department, we are under section 101A, and by virtue of section 101A, there was a communication that came from National on the view of the National in relation to many other municipalities, including a municipality called Ditsabotla. And of course, you would appreciate that our reports as a provincial government, also to National, depicted a picture on and around the challenges enveloping that municipality. We then received the clear directive that suggested to us that the National Cooperative preferred that given not only the political instability, but also the collapsed governance and administrative capacity of the municipality to provide basic services, the municipality should be subjected to section 139(1)(c). We then requested National to say, look, we are not disagreeing with you, especially because there is a package on how we should intervene to provide services to the communities in Ditsabotla, including on immediate, medium, and long term. We appreciated also that MISA was identified as a leading agency for the implementation of all this intervention. You would know that the Ditsabotla historically has remained on a disclaimer audit opinion. It is owing ESCOM more than 600 million and so on and so on. And we said, can you give us an opportunity so that we engage the political leadership of the municipality on what they think can be done other than dissolving them? On our engagement, we presented the view of COCTA, also our view, which did not necessarily contradict the view of the National COCTA. And we asked the councillors, what do you think we should do other than dissolving it? The councillors said, no, we agree. You can invoke section 101(b), but we said already we have done that. We have deployed the administrators at Ditsabotla, and the administrators were blocked by the municipality. They said, no, we'd accept the administrator. We then deployed the administrator as we have agreed by the next week on Monday. On the arrival of the administrator, the mayor, Honorable Councillor Moreo, then requested the administrator not to arrive at work, to wait until further notice. We accept, of course, that could have been because they have thought maybe to lobby and do other things. But we did not have the section 101(b) working. And I then said, but we have done our best to intervene in the way that would be saving everyone's space to remain at work and playing role. We returned the report to the National to say, it doesn't look like section 101(b) works. It is worse because it is even being challenged. 139(1)(b) is being challenged. We accepted the view that says it's fine, let's then dissolve Ditsabotla. At the time, we were supposed to have allowed the multiple implementing agencies to start working as early as the 1st of this month, because we cannot postpone giving service to the communities. Worse, the assessment of the budget of Ditsabotla was not necessarily supporting service delivery. And we were not the only people assessing Ditsabotla. Even Treasury also had its own view on the collapsed capacity of Ditsabotla. And we agreed that would accept any posture taken by National, and to this date, we are to take to logical conclusion the decision of the National COCTA on the dissolution of Ditsabotla. In the event we are not able to do that, clearly the Sunday cabinet on its resolve to have Ditsabotla dissolved demonstrated also that it would have the capacity to effect such dissolution on its own. Nevertheless, we said we will take that to a logical conclusion, and I think this is what we are intending to do and get done quickly. The other element is to decide on the capacities that should be deployed there other than them implementing agencies. Also, the issue of invocation of Section 20 of the Division of Revenue Act, where we would be able to get the portion of grants being withheld and implemented directly by national, to make sure that there is no way that we are refusing community services. We will have to conclude all the necessary processes. The briefing on the decision of the cabinet was received by the government, and the briefing by the party leading at the Ditsabotla, because it is a municipality belonging to a particular political party. And we are all in agreement that Ditsabotla is having challenges that we cannot allow to continue unchallenged. And it's unfortunate we did not necessarily enjoy cooperation. I mean, even where we were as the department giving good advice in a good faith on how to escape trouble of being seen standing counterpose to the constitutional legislative policy imperatives. The municipality did not take that advice. Over and above that, there are many other issues that relate to the allegations of malfeasance, corruption, and maladministration that I have said clearly. We would not only wait for us to deploy Section 106 of the MSA in forensic investigations, a matter that we are working on, hoping in a week or so would have those capacities deployed to investigate. We will also refer many of other matters to the AG, because the AG SA has a capacity to conduct forensic investigations. But importantly, we have already referred many of other matters to the SIU. Our request to the SIU is clear. One, not only investigate and identify wrongdoing. Where there is a loss suffered by the municipality, please help us recover the losses. And where there is a need to initiate criminal charges, please act on that and help even the prosecution. Also advise if there is a need for the application for the preservation order to withhold pensions of those who could have made a decision that made the municipality to suffer a great loss. Problems at Ditsabotla have accumulated over a period of time, whereas we accept that Ditsabotla at this point in time is having many other problems enveloping it. The problems have existed for a long period of time. It is for this reason we want to refer matters to AG so that they can help us deal with the material irregularities that have happened over a longer period of time. Investigative reports that have been made available to the municipality that the municipality did not necessarily act on them. We would want them to be processed as a matter of agency. Our intention, not only on Ditsabotla, but many others, would be to demonstrate to many people that they cannot take the state of the state institutions for granted, and where service is expected, we fail the communities and nothing is happening. The example we wish to lead, Chair and the committee, is in the way that we would have people who are refusing in future to become councillors. We cannot have the municipality where service should be the key priority being made a joke. It is not only at that municipality, it is at many other municipalities. You would just imagine where we are having municipality that is not able to repurpose the equitable share. for the purpose of honoring statutory obligations, including payment of SARS, including the payment of pensions, medical aid. We cannot have our people who, through attrition or death, their beneficiaries are not able to draw even a cent from the municipality. Those who have medical aid go to the hospital, but the process bouncing because municipality has not paid them. And those who are even afraid of going on pension. We would be a joke if we cannot really correct these delinquent municipalities. I think, Chair, on the last note, when Kluwer pronounced on its intention to leave Ditsabotla, we put it clear to the public. We said, in terms of the 2019 competition tribunal determinations, Kluwer was taken over by Milo South Africa, and one of the important determinations was that Kluwer must not allow loss of jobs for the next 3 years. 1, 2, they must create additional 5,000 jobs. 3, in the event they are not able to cope with such conditions, Kluwer must make an application for the adjustment of the conditions. And the expectation was that as and when Kluwer makes a business decision and wants to move to Escort, Kluwer must offer their employees an opportunity to relocate with them, provide them a home and so on. And in the event the employees choose not to go to Durban, Kluwer would then provide them with severance package. Chair, on the 24th of June, 2016, CEO of Kluwer, John Foster, when he received the Excellence Award from Deloitte and Touche, it is on the financial main dated 24 June 2016. He announced the intention to explore the export business, and for that reason, he said they will be relocating to Escort. Escort is a municipality located, is the area located within Inkosi Endlelantle, also Inkosi Elangeni, Inkosi Elangeni in KwaZulu-Natal also, which is just a relatively new municipality, but it is a municipality that has been subject of Section 101B that has the problems just like Ditsabotla. But secondly, the Kluwer is using 350,000 liters of milk a day. 200,000 of that milk is coming from KwaZulu-Natal. And on their annual report, they've pointed out the issue of transport as a cost driver. We would remember when there was a contestation on the Milo South Africa takeover of Kluwer, a company that was partnering with Milo South Africa had to withdraw. There was hints and that Kluwer was attempting to dump their important expired milk there. There were many things. But in short, there hasn't been any disruption of electricity and water to the detriment or stoppage of production at Kluwer, a matter well known by the employees of Kluwer. It's unfortunate Kluwer to this date has not found it easy to accept that we should engage with them on our varying proposition as we intend to preserve work of many other people there. A reason why we have requested the DTI tribunal competition and so on to help us bring Kluwer to the table and to show that we have all the resolution. In 2020, in June, when Kluwer interacted with the Ditsabotla local municipality, they had already closed their first plant and they're operating with only one plant there. So There are many other things that we can unpack in relation to this, but I can assure you where we are, that yes, there are problems, but the problems of Ditsabotla would not be a reason why Kluwer would have chosen to leave, but it will be purely a business decision. There are problems including the capacity of the municipality to implement Pluma Act of 2013, which its regulations were published in 2015. And this is the reason why we have everyone dumping household waste everywhere, even when efforts are made to clean the area, because many of the establishments that we can take as nuisance just pop up and emerge on the area that is not necessarily serviced, or the area where it is not connected to the existing infrastructure for the purposes of service. And if we are not finding it easy to implement on Pluma, we are going to have a very serious problem. The other element is on the MPRA, Property Rates Act, Municipal Property Rates Act, where we agree that we have not exploit this act to the maximum benefit of the municipality. In the municipality that is hosting more than 3 mines, and in the municipality that has serious many other businesses opportunity, with businesses offering to help the municipality. We have had interaction with business in the area, and we are hoping to have a working relationship that would help these business people to add positive impacts. Let me tell you, Chair, in that area, we have a cement mine. Mines are ready to offer the packages for resolving the potholes and so on. The demand on the part of the municipality that they be appropriated such funds created a problem, because business wanted to provide that service. And even when Sanral has awarded tenders for the construction of roads, the establishment just of a simple PLC, Project Licensing Committee, is a difficult exercise. We have councillors who do not only want to draw benefit, but also want to make those who are supposedly 30% beneficiaries part of those who should compose the PLC, which is not the requirement. This is the responsibility at the level of the councillors to have the PLC easily established, 30% of the local beneficiaries drawn. Chair, lastly, we can share with you the allegations on very serious corruption there, where we have received a volume of evidentiary proof that shows how 15 of our councillors, including the officials, have drawn benefit for themselves. Chair, we have the scenario where councillors have employed directly their relatives, their wives, their cousins, and advertising so many posts and employing where there is just no money to provide service. I can assure you, moving forward, Ditsabotla would not have even a cent available for any service. Thank you, Chair. That's the reflection I've wanted to make, leadership. As and when we have engaged and completed these processes, we really put you on the notice. There is more problem there than what we are reflecting here. Thank you.
Thank you, MEC. Minister, you want to say something? If not, maybe the team. Over to you, Minister, and the team.
Thank you, Chair. I'll just say a few words about Ditsabotla before the team says something, because I'm going to be leaving to attend MINEC. You know, Ditsabotla, when in 2018.
We miss you. You have network problem? We miss our minister. Just want to see her face. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I was just saying, when we went to Ditsabotla in 2018, the situation of there was a bad situation there. The refuse collection wasn't done. There were sewage was spilling all over, to the extent that we at the time, and Clover and other companies were complaining for the roads and the refuse and the spillage of sewage. So we tried to assist. And it was for that reason, for instance, we actually asked the president to release the Defense Force to go and help there, which they did. They went there, they assisted with the sewage, and things seemed to improve there. And then after that, but there was a political problem at the time there, which we said should be resolved, because the officials were saying that they are getting a lot of, they are getting, instead of them doing the tenders, they get 3 quotes from the councillors themselves, and then they bring the invoices. So we tried to say, no, that can't be. Things must be resolved. But at the time, Clover was talking already about that they might move. And the reason we tried to fix all those things was to make sure that the citizens don't have sewage running all over, but also that the companies don't have that reason to then say they want to leave. But Clover was already at that time talking about relocating. So I don't know finally what I hear from the MEC, that actually the reasons they are putting are not true. It's just business decisions. That may be so, because as I say, even then they were talking about that. Then we fixed what they were, the complaints that were there, general, not necessarily Clover, but business people who were at that meeting. We tried to fix those things, but so I wouldn't know. I think the MEC would know better why Clover has moved to KZN. But I think for me, Ditsabotla was more of just the problems in the council. And I think those are the things that need to be sorted out. Because if the council is not sorted out, then things can't move in the right direction. So unfortunately, my connection wasn't good at the beginning. I couldn't hear what the MEC said. Maybe those things have been fixed. But I just wanted to say, I'm not sure what made Clover eventually want to leave. I think the MEC might be right that it's a business decision. But the team from Cooperative will give more details. I just thought I should just say that because I was there in 2018 and Clover was already talking about relocating. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Minister. Yes, we got your apology that you were gonna leave at 10:30. DGA to attend the min-mac as said, but we appreciate you having taken time to attend the meeting. DG Fosi, can I hand over to you and the team? It seems he's not in here. Is there anyone from DCOC? You? Shirin, can you check the whereabouts of DDG Fosi? Salga, do you want to comment on this before we allow members to interact with the presentations? Councillor Stofile? Lance? Honorable Mkalipi, can you hear me?
Loud and clear, Chairperson.
Or people have
Salo.
just decided to go mute?
Yes.
Salo.
Yes. Councillor Stofile?
Yes, Salo, I heard that you were calling.
Yes. I wanted Salga to comment.
Yes, no, thank you very much, Salo, and thank you for allowing us to participate in this important work done by the committee. As we always say, as an association, it's very impressive to participate in the only active committee that we have ever interacted with on matters that affect local government. It is a sad story what is happening in Northwest Ditsabotla municipality and other municipalities throughout the country. What we have picked up here is the challenges pertaining to political instability, often being parachuted into governance matters. And as a result of that, municipalities then focus to their own internal political differences. And as a result of that, then the service delivery is highly affected. As an association, we have been trying to engage the municipality. And of course, we understand that SALGA as an association interact with people that have been elected by various political parties and give them a responsibility to lead either as councillors or mayors or whatever position that they hold. And in our endeavor, trying to find a one-way solution over the matter, it's highly politicized. The environment is no longer governance matter, and therefore it's then become problematic to us in a highly toxic political environment. Try to come in as to try to resolve within governance matter. In our interaction with the DM Wapela before the cabinet, it was crystal clear to the discussion that everything has been done trying to resolve the problems in that municipality, and it seemingly there is no possibilities to win. And unfortunately, in the process, communities then are suffering. And then we then said, probably it could have been a good idea that the national executive to consider other means, including working with the department and the provincial executive in that province, other means to restore credibility, dignity, and make sure that individual communities do benefit out of the government of their choice. And that is our take on this, Chair. Yeah, of course, guided with the recent ruling on Tshwane case of Justice Mlambo on the case pertaining to the provincial government of the Gauteng and Tshwane. And we are very careful in dealing with this matter because we don't want use legal instrument to resolve political challenges. We hope that any resolution that is going to be taken or that has been taken by the national executive, it has a deeper resolution of the problem going into the future, because we do understand the community in that area does suffer significantly because of the political infighting and differences in that area. And that is why we are taken aback when the mayor was locked out of the office to perform his duty that has been elected. So that is our take on that, Chair. Thank you.
Okay. MEC, can you clarify this to us? I think I heard you saying that the mayor who's Councillor Buthelezi is no longer a mayor, is no longer a councillor. When was this done? Is he still not getting paid? Is he not having all the mayoral benefits as we speak? And then maybe I would ask him directly, what makes him to come here if he knows that he's no longer a councillor, is no longer a mayor, and go to an extent of even making a presentation to submit to this committee? Can you start so that I can hand over to him? MEC?
Yes, thank you very much, Honorable Chair. No, our understanding is the legal battle that in the last 3 months, the mayor was removed, not as only as a mayor, but as a councillor. And our understanding where we are now is that the mayor is not being paid. And this is a reason why we had to advise the mayor that he should maybe seek a form of a redress where the mayor would seek the reinstatement by and through the IEC. So I think mayor could not be getting salary now for the last 3 months. Thanks.
Councillor Buthelezi, what brings you here if you know you're not a mayor? You are not being paid. You have been removed as a mayor. Can you clarify that to us?
Very much, Chair. Thank you very much, Chair, for giving me. Thanks very much, Chair. I'm Gabon.
Yes.
Chair.
We can hear you. Proceed.
Can you hear me, Chair?
Yes. Proceed.
Yes. No, thanks very much, Chair, for giving me this opportunity. The matter also relating to my removal was started last year around the 10th of December, where things were done because in an irregular and unlawful way, whereby the matter was challenged. I challenged the matter and I won the matter, and then I was 30 days of review. Then on 7th, the same group that had its own agenda, then they came up on the 7th of January and then came up with a motion. And then on the 15th of January, the speaker released a notice whereby the motion was passed. And I wrote a letter to the speaker to outline the irregularity and the procedural way of doing things, and then the speaker will give
Mayor,
a matter from the
Mayor
agenda
Buteles,
of
Mayor Buteles, it's
Yes,
either
ma'am.
you are having other gadgets around you, or is it a TV or
Yes,
whatever?
sir.
How many gadgets are you using? Except the one, because we can't hear you. You need to have one gadget.
Can you hear me? No, I'm using gadget. I'm using one gadget.
That
Chair,
background sound from you,
Honorable
it's a
Chair.
problem.
No,
Are you recording the
I don't know
proceedings?
because all my gadgets. No. There's not. There's not that is on me here. It's only me, and the worst part of it is that I'm in the bedroom, so that I should not get any distance. Can you hear me, Chair?
That's much better now, because
Chair?
there's an echo. There's an echo at the background.
Is it better?
There's an echo at the background.
Yeah, but there's nothing that is on here. There's nothing electronically that is that is on
Is
around
your
here,
TV
except
not
the
on?
phones that are off. They are there, but they are not.
Is your TV not on?
No. I'm very far from the TV.
But is it not
I'm
on somewhere in the room?
very far from the
But is it
TV.
not on somewhere
Pardon?
in the room?
I should think I'm 20. I'm 10 or 15 meters away from the TV.
Which is on?
Chair?
Which the TV which is on?
Let me just go and verify there, but no, but not where I am, not in the room where I'm
In
presenting.
the house, but in the house,
It is just in the house. It might.
But in the house.
Yes, in the house is on.
That's why the problem is.
Let me just go and make them aware that they must switch it off. No,
You are
let
disrupting.
me just go and make them aware that they must switch it off that side. I don't know what's the problem. Let me just go and check. I'll come back. I'll raise my hand when I come back. Check.
Sorry about this, colleagues.
No, thanks, Jeff. He must start from the scratch. We couldn't hear a word coming from him.
That's the thing.
I could hear myself twice. There's still that noise from the background.
What is the end of Honorable Mpumza doing now? It's up already, or I must recognize him first. I don't know.
Chairperson.
Yes.
Yes, Chair, my hand is up. I had wanted to. Yes, Chair, my hand is up. I had wanted to understand as to were we to receive a presentation from the MEC as well as from Mr. Butelis.
Chairperson.
Yes, Minister.
Temba has now joined. Apparently, he thought the portfolio committee was cancelled. I don't know. There was some confusion, but he's joined now.
I don't know who confused Chamber Force.
I don't know. I don't know who confused him, but he's
Okay,
here now.
finally, it's unlike him, I don't know.
Well, he's
Councillor
here now.
Butele, thank you, Minister. And then you'll move out swiftly now that Temba is here as well.
And then you'll move. Yes, well.
Thank you, Minister. Councillor Butelis.
Thanks, Chair. Can you hear me now, Chair?
That's much better.
Chairperson?
Yes.
Honorable Chair? Or can you hear me?
Yes.
All right, no, thanks. Let me not go back and let me just take it where the Chair wanted to get the narrative. Chair, in terms of what happened on the 15th of January, even after the unlawful practice that was conducted by some councillor
from the beginning.
To reinstate the motion that was not there. No, I'm not starting. Chair?
You must start from the beginning so that you can hear you properly. Want to understand this matter. From the beginning so that you hear you.
Oh, should I start from? All right, no, thanks very much, Chair. Honorable Chair, is as I said, on the 10th of December, there was just an abrupt motion that came in council, whereby it was presented irregularly, and I challenged the matter at the court. And then on the 31st of December, I got a court order that reinstated me as the mayor. And then there was a period of 30 days for a review. And then with hardly 9 days after the court ruling of, and based also on the standing rules of the municipality, which were flawed, whereby once the matter has been decided or been debated in a council, that matter cannot be debated again unless a period of 3 months has lapsed. And then they came up with the matter again, and then I was removed on the 15th together with my executive, despite the conditions that were attached on the court order, that is the period of the review, as well as the standing rules. Then we went to court, and then by then we were removed. I was removed with the executive. We went to court, and then on the 15th of on the 17th of February, the court ruled in our favor that I must be reinstated, as well as the executive, because things were not done lawfully and all that. And then when I came back, we presented that. Since then, the Honorable Chair, we were being denied access to the office. There was that tug of war and all that. And what happened on the 25th? On the 25th of January, I saw on a social media platform that I was removed from IEC without any procedure. In the first place, I was never expelled by my NGO on my party. I was never charged. I was never going through any disciplinary process, and at the same time, I never violated any rule in terms of the code of conduct for councillors. I was never reprimanded. I was just surprised. Even now, I can tell you, I don't know what prompted that. I wrote to IEC to provide me with the records to show why I was removed, what led to that. And IEC failed to provide me with the document. The only document that I got, it is the letter that was coming from the municipal manager. And then I wanted to get all documents, even those that are coming from my party. It was nothing from the. I wrote to the municipal manager. He could not provide me with those documents. I wrote to my party. I could not get any document. I went back to IEC. So until then, Chairperson, we ended up having landed in court on the 15th of February, of 17th of February, as I've indicated. So even now, I can say whatever process, I followed all the processes. I cannot tell you what is it that I've done. And even now, I can tell you that
are you still being paid as a mayor? Are you still being paid as a mayor?
not, I'm not paid. People who have been declared unlawful by the court. The executive, the person who has been declared unlawful.
Are you still in the
Yes,
list?
the unlawful people are the ones who are getting paid.
Of the of your party.
Come up again, Chair.
Were you not removed? Were you not removed from the party list? And then are you still there? Removed from the party list, and then are you still there?
I learned that I was removed, but I've never. IEC wrote a letter when we approached the IEC. The IEC wrote a letter on the 9th of March, whereby it said it is the responsibility of the municipal manager and the municipality to effect the court order, whereby they said, IEC said that the compliance of the court order, of such court order, does not need, they were responding to my lawyers, does not need your client to be on the list of the IEC. I have that letter, the municipality got that letter, I submitted that letter to all the relevant structures or stakeholders relating who were having interest in the matter. So the court order ruled that let me say the ICE ruled that the court order must be effected by the municipal manager and the municipality, and then the municipality decided not to effect that court order.
So in essence, you are still out. You are not a
Oh,
mayor.
That's the thing.
Until you are reinstated. I mean, you are no longer receiving the benefits that has to deal with the office. You are not getting paid. You are not getting paid as a mayor. The municipal manager is managed to remove you from the list and replace you with another person. Then there's a court order, but you know how to enforce a court order until such time. Until such is done and you are reinstated as the mayor, the MEC is right that you are not a mayor for now. It's right that you're not a mayor for now.
No, I don't. I just want to have this Chair. The court has ordered that I must be reinstated together with the executive, and the court has ordered that the person who is now saying that is the mayor, the court order has clearly outlined that they are no longer in the office. They must vacate offices, and then we must be reinstated. Even the executive order, let me just say that
according
I'm
to you,
out of the office. Even the executive. Chair?
Who must reinstate you?
Chair?
Who must reinstate you? There's a court order that says you
I
must
should
be
think that the court has,
order that says you must be reinstated. According to you, who's supposed
I should think it is as the IEC is saying. Is as the IEC is saying, Chair, whereby they say the municipality and the municipal manager must effect the court order. They say they must effect the court order. So the municipality and the officials that are there, because all relevant officials with relevant qualifications and experience that were at the municipality, where these others were suspended and dismissed. So they have usurped the positions that are not relevant to them. So that is why there is this resistance, because irregular people are the ones who are occupying.
I'm glad you have provided the necessary clarity. Let's end it there. Let's end it there. Let's end it there. It's fine. And your problems still remain unresolved. It's still and the echo and everything was battling to hear you.
Yeah, that is the fifth. Maybe then there are meeting is the one that is, but it's very broad. But
mute your microphone.
So this is the 5th month share that I've not been.
Yes, mute your microphone. Thank you. Shirin, can you allow Councillor?
All right, no thanks.
Can you allow Honorable bring into the meeting, please? Honorable Brink is battling to get into the meeting. Don't know what's happening. Temba Fosi, are you ready? Because even your colleague was not in the meeting, Loyiso. Who told you the meeting is it's postponed, Temba?
Honorable Chair, good morning.
Who told you the meeting is postponed, Temba? Can we start there? Because your DG is on record saying that you lead the team. And then the minister was here, you are not here with the team.
Let me.
The minister is in the meeting and the DG said you're going to lead the team. And then you and the team are not in the meeting.
Yes, good morning, Honorable Chair.
Yes, can we see you as well?
Okay, Chair.
There we go.
Yes. Yeah, good morning, Honorable Chair and honorable members. Let me apologize, Chair. I think there was a misunderstanding from my office because there was a postponement of a different portfolio committee, the one that was shifted from yesterday to the 5th. I think they actually then just assumed that this one it's postponed. So that's the sort of wrong communication that one got. I'm really sorry for this. I profusely apologize, Honorable Chair. It was not really of disrespecting this committee.
Are you proceeding on Ditsabotla?
I'm not sure what is expected of me, Chair.
We are dealing
I can provide. Yes.
And
yes,
we are informed in this meeting, we read in the media that cabinet has taken a decision to dissolve this municipality. And definitely if cabinet has taken such a decision, it's based on your recommendation as DCOC.
Yes.
So we want to understand the extent of that, what informed that, because it's based on your the way the MEC reports it's yourselves. There couldn't be any other person who could have submitted that report to cabinet to take such a decision, except yourselves. So we wanted you to update us on those circumstances that led you to recommending to the dissolution of this municipality.
No, thank you very much, Honorable Chair. I think, Chair, what we done when there was an order for a national intervention in Ligwa in Mpumalanga. When that matter was brought to cabinet, the president felt that he needed to get a comprehensive state of local government and also look at other similar municipalities that are in the same sort of situation as Ligwa, where there's serious sort of crisis. The department did a comprehensive then assessment of the state of local government. And the way we have looked at this state of local government, we used the pillars of Back to Basics, looking at the political governance, institutional issues, service delivery issues, financial management issues, and assess where the municipalities is in relation to those issues. And we then developed a categorization or a four sort of set of focus areas, those that are dysfunctional across all the key areas of performance, and those that are medium, high risk, and low risk, and the stable ones. And in the analysis that was done, as we looked at Northwest, Ditsabotla was one of those municipalities that came up as a dysfunctional municipality because of the political instability in terms of the two mayors, two speakers, and so on. Issues of service delivery, was pillages, instability even in the senior management level. And so across all the key areas of performance, this municipality scored very, very low. What the recommendations that we made was that there are municipalities across the country that require urgent attention. Because if a municipality is sitting with two mayors, two speakers, and so on, these are municipalities that obviously then impact on the administration, resulting then in or manifesting itself in poor delivery of services, in poor management of the finances of that municipality. And then we recommended that about 5 municipalities should be dissolved. Cabinet endorsed the principle of dissolution or being decisive in relation to those municipalities that are in crisis and require urgent attention. I'm happy that also the MEC is here. On Monday, we also engaged with the leadership of the province, Premier, and the MECs. DM Bapela led that team where we engaged with the Premier and the two MECs, where we presented the decisions of cabinet, and then we in the discussions, I think.
Which 5 are those, Tamba? Which 5? Mention the names of the 5.
It's the Ditsabotla, Ratlou, Ramutsiri. Yeah. I'm trying to. Tsoying, yes, Tsoying and Khetleng.
Khetleng Refir, something.
Yeah, Khetleng Refir, yes, Khetleng Refir.
Okay. Thank you. Proceed. Thank you.
This proposal, Honorable Chair, around the dissolution. So the approach was that we will need to discuss with the province in the context of the hierarchy of the interventions that are provided in the Constitution, for us to then look at the mode of intervention that we need to apply And of course, it must be informed by the seriousness then of the diagnosis that would be done that informs that proposal. Because we had looked at these issues and the province in our engagement also endorsed and agree. In fact, the province also identified other municipalities which they needed, they also thought that needed also a drastic action to deal with them. So the teams, COCTA and National Treasury, have also met to look at then how do we support and work with the province to ensure that these interventions are sustainable, but also were able to address the root causes of these issues. The DM Papela chair is also managing other processes outside of the administrative processes to ensure that an enabling environment also is created to ensure that the administrative interventions then can actually work, because these administrative interventions will not be able to address some of the issues that have actually are the root cause of some of the challenges of this municipality at the political level. So those processes, we hope that then it will enable us, as we discuss at the technical level with Treasury and working with the province, for us to be able then to move in. That would be sort of, Chair, my conclusion. My colleagues are here, Mpho Mogale and also Loiso. I don't know if they want to add also. Thank you very much, Chairperson.
Dr. Mohale, you want to add? Mpho? I think you might have represented them. None of them is saying anything. Okay. Let's proceed. Thank you, DDG Fosi. Thank you. Now I see the hands. It's time for colleagues to interact with the presentations. Sandile Streeman, are you from Salga, Northwest? Okay, I'll start with Mkalipi, followed by Spies, followed by Horneveld, followed by Kaiser, in that order for now. Honorable Mkalipi, over to you.
Ngiyabonga, Chairperson.
Fosi, mute your microphone, please. DDG Fosi, mute your microphone, please. Thank you. Sure, proceed, Mkalipi.
Thank you very much, Chair. I think that there's nothing that we can engage with Ditsabotla. It's a follow-up meeting. We are doing our work as a committee, but it is clear that there's nothing that we can get out of what we already get when we had our oversight in May. Also, the presentations that are also being presented here, it's clear that there's nothing we can continue as a committee. For instance, DDG Force is telling us that the cabinet has resolved that 5 municipalities in Northwest must be dissolved, and Ditsabotla is one of them. And I think that it has already been communicated by the provincial government, who's also under administration, by the way, in Northwest. So I think, Chair, you were very correct, and other colleagues, including the MEC, to characterize that the situation that we are dealing with is nothing more than the factional battles of the ANC. Unfortunately, we have to come as well to be part and parcel of these factional battles. So what I think it needs to be done, Chairperson, is to get a full report from the executive member, who's the political head of the department, which is the minister, to come and brief the committee. because we are hearing from the news, from other people who have a privy information that they are engaging with the cabinet, as the DDG Fosi was alluding to that fact, that the president, in fact, when he was dealing with that municipality in Mpumalanga, he said, no, he need a comprehensive report from the department that talks to all other municipalities. So the committee has not been briefed. We know that even in the NSOP, there's another process in terms of Section 139 that also talks to the Northwest. As the committee, we have not been briefed about the process, how far is the process. So I think that we need to get a proper briefing from the department and the minister about what has been resolved from the cabinet, because we are just getting piecemeal information from everywhere. So really, my view, Chairperson, is that there's nothing, because now, when we were there in May 5, there was a huge confusion, including Ditsabotla. I remember when the confusion emanated from that meeting, that was an oversight from us as the committee. We said, because we don't know who is the rightful mayor or the leadership of each and every municipality, when there were two warring factions, as the chair, when you were opening the meeting, was also alluding to that fact. We said to the MEC, please assist us. Who must we deal with here? And I remember very well, I even have a picture of Mayor Buthelezi where he was sitting that day. And we said, okay, we are going to trust you, MEC. You are the only person who's going to help us here, because we don't know who must we deal with. I remember, I don't know, even on your opening remarks, Chair, when you talk about that chief whip who said he does not recognize the intervention of Section 139. If it's that person who tried to do what they are doing best in their factional meetings in the ANC, when he tried to bully us, and you also stood your ground, Chairperson, and you said, no, please leave the room if you don't want to be guided or to be led by this committee. And then he left the meeting and then he went and addressed the media. I don't know if it's the very same person, because there was a lot of confusion there. So now, Chairperson, I'm saying that we asked the MEC, and the MEC said to us, no, a person who is a correct leadership is Babu Buthelezi. To our surprises today, that even that mayor we are being told as a committee that he is the one who is supposed to be a correct mayor, is not even in the list of the IEC. It's bringing more confusion about Ditsabotla. And then we would like to get that clarity from the MEC. When was this issue now that he's raising today? Because as the MEC was also telling this committee that there is another aspect in the, as much as there is that decision from the court that he took this matter after he was dealt with that other faction of the ANC, took the matter to court, and the court confirmed him as a mayor. And he's trying to take us through what happened to the council as the mayor, but that is not our interest. Our interest as the minister was also trying to put it, to say that our interest as this committee is to know if the people of Ditsabotla are getting the services. Remember, that is not a favor. The people of Ditsabotla are also taxpayers. They are also contributing to the revenue of the council. So now it can't be that all the time we must come and understand that, no, that faction was wrong. So I was confirmed by the court, but also now he was confirmed by the court, but the IEC already removed him on the basis that the other faction removed him from the list of the IEC. So therefore, instead of there is a clarity, who must we deal with, there's more confusion. Secondly, Chair, I agree with you. Even the presentation, because as the committee, we're just interested to know, are those committees that suppose also to help us to get to the bottom of the crisis in the municipality, such as MPEC? We were told that they were not functioning, and they're still dysfunctioning as we speak now. So now even the report that were tabled to us today from the municipality is still talk to that effect, that no, after you have left as a committee, nothing improved. So now I think the bigger picture that we must zoom in as a committee is to get a proper report from the executive, which is our executive member is a political head, which is the minister, on how far, and the MEC touched on that very briefly to say that they are going to ensure that that decision is being implemented. So when is the decision going to be implemented? And then we need a proper briefing, because Chair, we need to engage to understand if that municipalities, which are 5 in Northwest, if they are dissolved, what will happen? Is there provincial, at a provincial level, the provincial government, does they have a capacity now to service our people? The only thing that we are interested in is the service to the people. We don't care who is the faction who's going to get more powers and so on. And then also in that presentation that we'll also engage by the time when we are being told officially. So now we, as a country, we are still in a debate. We are still waiting if elections are going to take place on the 27th of October or not, or if not, next year, according to that Moseneke recommendations. So we are still waiting for those processes as well. So now we need to be told if now Ditsabotla and other former municipalities has resulted in dissolution. So what will happen after the local government? Because we have experienced here, we have other municipalities who have been dissolved. I think there is one in Northwest, and there was also by-elections. But it does not mean that after we went to by-elections, things resolved. Things are still the same. So therefore, that's why we have to talk about the reality of what is the cause of this problem that we are facing as the country. So now we need to know politically, the ruling party must tell us how are they going to resolve this crisis that keep on coming to us as a portfolio committee. And I know very well as politicians, when we don't have any solutions in terms of political factions that is taking place of the ruling party, we are very, very, very quick to say the administration must come. We put pressure on the administration to say, come with solutions. While the problem is not administratively, while the problem is politically. So therefore, we need to get to the bottom of this, unless if we also like to talk for sake of talking, Chairperson. So that is my contribution about Ditsabotla, Chair. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Honorable Mkalipi. The next speaker is Honorable Spies. Over to you, Honorable Spies.
Thank you, Chairperson. Chairperson, the ANC's factional fights for the control of the Ditsabotla municipality is really not bringing us anywhere. And the battle of the mayors, to me, is insignificant in all of this because it's also not bringing us anywhere. There's continuous non-provision of services in that area. And whilst there's a battle for who the real mayor is, things are just going backward. I concur with a number of things that Honorable Kalipi has said, but I think also, Chairperson, just to maybe also give my point of view and for clarity's sake, the MEC also brought up the issue of Clover, and also the minister mentioned the issue of Clover. The reality is, Chair, is that no company is going to withdraw themselves from a town or area at a cost of 1.5 billion rand just because they want to. Having gone through all the reports on the withdrawal of Clover, 300 jobs lost, that translates into 2,000 people losing their jobs and affecting those households is unacceptable. And that because a municipality can't get their act together, and that results in them not being able to deliver services, have long-standing disruption of basic services like water and electricity. The roads we have seen for ourselves, Chairperson, we have been there. It's another case if we haven't seen this, but we have been told in media reports that it is not the case. We know what it looks like. And whilst we are every day, every hour, every minute, having this instability and these factional fights, more and more companies will withdraw and close their doors. And the people who will suffer is the people of that municipality. And so, Chairperson, this needs to be sorted out very seriously. And I know as a committee, we have been trying our best to really resolve these issues, but it clearly it's not taken up very seriously. So that is my few cents, Chairperson, for now. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Spies. The next speaker is Honorable Groenewald. Over to you, Honorable Groenewald.
Thank you, Chairperson. Chairperson, firstly, I want to second Ms. Kalipi's or Honorable Kalipi's proposal to say that there must be a report from the executive and a proper briefing in terms of the dissolution of councils. I can agree that we have to discuss that at some time. Chairperson, then in terms of the Clover case, in terms of the Ditsabotla, yes, we all take note of that, Chairperson, but there's a lot of SMMEs that also struggle with the same problem, and they are, going to say, not a mass employer, but they're one of the biggest employers of Ditsabotla. So how are they addressing that? And then in terms of the visit we had with Ditsabotla, there was a question raised in terms of the equitable share from the district that's not being paid over to Ditsabotla, but rather being used as salaries. I just want to find out if the MEC could have resolved that. And then when we go for executive and the briefing from the executive, I would like the MEC to please give us all administrator closeout reports so that we can have a great idea of what is happening in those municipalities. And then, Chairperson, the Minister also alluded that the councillors submitted invoices, free invoices, and then they got contracts and so on. What consequent management was there? And then the last one is to the MEC specifically. I've heard a rumor that they've had a meeting last week or last weekend in JB Marks discussing with the administrators that's going to take over after the dissolution of the councils in terms of deals being, can I say, structured between them. What deals are that and did it happen? I think that's one of the biggest questions. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Groenewald. Honorable Kaiser will be followed by Honorable Bumza.
Thank you very much, Chair. I echo the view of Honorable Mkhalipi in terms of the reports that we have to receive on the dissolved municipalities. However, I am further tempted to then get to the root causes of what it is that constitutes a faction in a at the municipal level or anywhere in any structure. Chairperson, 2 councillors, 2 speakers. We don't know who is the speaker. The other one comes here and he's dissolved, he's removed as a mayor to present in the committee, which adds on the confusion. What is the root cause of factions? What causes the factions themselves? Is it ideological, or is it an issue of just interest? You want to control the municipality, Chairperson. For instance, you want the control of the municipality. You result into 2 mayors being in the same council. What causes that? The minister must look into the issue of over-reliance on external service providers, because at the center of that is the issue of external service providers who are beneficial for some political parties within that municipality and some councillors, without having a hotline or just to develop a chair and adopt a fraud prevention strategy within the municipality. It is that system of tenders that actually causes these political infighting and preferences of people that that Honorable Mkhaliphi must be a mayor in a particular municipality, so that Honorable Ceza then benefits out of the profits that that external provider connected to the mayor or connected to the municipal manager or any official, then gives me the profits. It's upon profit maximization for self-seeking interest and for self-enrichment. But during this process, Chairperson, there are people at the center of that who are not receiving quality in terms of quality services that are delivered to them. Secondly, quality jobs that are even coming from the existing projects within the municipality. So it is the projects that are within the municipality that, for instance, if you look at Chairperson, the issue of collecting revenue in a municipality, wouldn't there be a private authorized waste removal contractor who is supposed to then deal with that? If that is the case, if they are there, what are they paid for if people are still experiencing those things in at a township level? So it is those things. Maybe the ministers and the decision makers must make a conscious decision about resolving permanently this political infighting, because it indeed, as Honorable Mkhaliphi has said, Mamusa was dissolved. We went there for a by-election, but those problems still persist even today. So COCTA must just tell us in a presentation whether they have measures in place to ensure that all these, how are they going to make sure that all these interventions are genuine? That's one. Two, they don't seek to purge other people that are not in agreement with a particular leadership at a provincial level. And second, and thirdly, that they are effective to a point, Chairperson, that they have permanently resolved the problems persisting in the municipality, so that people received necessary services there. I am relying on our sources at the EFF that between October last year and this year, the municipality has spent over 5 million on legal costs, but I'm not getting that from the presentation of the municipality. On legal costs are supposed, they are from the same public purse of the municipality. And I do not know how municipalities do not get these things of fighting amongst themselves, compromising the money of the state. And there should be measures and stringent measures to ensure that that is the last resort. It's not done at all, because that money doesn't belong to legal costs. It belongs to our people once again. And to resolve that, remove these things of external service providers and replace them with internal state capacity, which will deliver to people, because people didn't vote for those things of external service providers anyway. Otherwise, we should go to them and tell them that, well, when you vote for us, you then vote for our friends, so that we can give them the favors in the form of pension. I think that would be my contribution towards this, Chair. And in terms of LEDs, Chair, I think that it's clear LEDs are seen as one of the most important ways of decreasing poverty. Local economic development must aim to create jobs by making the local economy grow. This means that there should be more business and factories started at the municipal level, and I have not gotten the sense that this has happened in this regard at the municipal level. And Chair, there's many questions that I've prepared, but it's no use, Chair. There's nothing else in this municipality. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Keza. It will be Honorable Mpumza, followed by Honorable Direko, and the last person will be Honorable Hatere with an H. Over to you, Honorable Mpumza.
Thank you, Chairperson, and good morning to all
Hey,
members.
the chickens. Like
Chair.
Chickens now, look at you.
Hello, Chair.
The chickens. Proceed.
Chair, good morning to you, Chair. The Honorable Minister, leadership from Salga, MEC Hwaile, and colleagues. Chair, when we were in Northwest oversight on the 5th of May, we were confronted with a situation wherein the speaker of this municipality, even before you were starting the meeting, he demonstrated pompousness and the utter arrogance that we have never experienced as a leader. That's why he had the guts, when he had to be taken out, that he had to go and address a media outside, which to me was pre-arranged. And it tells you how deep the crisis is in this particular municipality. And I get the sense that from the MEC as well as that the decision had been taken by the cabinet, and the fact that also this decision was as a result of a diagnostic report that was submitted by COCTA through DDG4C, where they have categorized the municipalities. But I think that, and it indicates that the intervention section 139B in these municipalities had not yielded any positive result, because we were actually administering a different dose from the cause and the effect of the problem. And I'm tempted to agree with Salga that perhaps a legal instrument would not resolve challenges in municipalities that are political. And then this is reflected by the fact that section 139B had not succeeded. And then we're going now to section 139(1)C, a dissolution. Perhaps in the diagnosis that was undertaken by COCTA, and looking at the cause and the effect, it would be important perhaps when we're looking at this diagnosis, whether the cause and the effect is not a bitter scramble by presiding officers in the municipalities to access resources. Because I've heard that from the minister that they found in 2018 that councillors were actually calling codes that were handed over to administration, which was a serious direct interference, and that should be acted upon immediately through state law enforcement agencies. Going forward now, the decision that had been taken to dissolve, so it would be important that because that institution
is a product of society. Whether is not this problem that manifests itself in the municipal council space is not a problem rooted in society, because if society is actually against that particular issue, they would have resolved that problem. So I'm trying to say, going forward, then it would be important that we look at political solutions, MEC Khwaile, to address this problem, because as I indicate, that if Honorable Mpumza becomes so pompous and so arrogant, and even to flout policies and policies and law of the institution is serving, why do we continue to keep that particular individual and then therefore affect the whole system instead of actually isolating a rotten apple there and take it out so that we have our systems going on? That would be my take at this particular moment. And the last clarity that I would like to get from MEC Khwaile was saying that they are also under Section 100A. Does it mean that they were not in an effective position to resolve political problems that had encroached into a system of governance? Thanks, Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Mpumza. Honorable Direko will be followed by Honorable Hadebe.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Chair. Chair, we note the report of dissolving the municipality as it was indicated here. However, we'll still need a detailed report as to how did the cabinet came into that decision and what is their plan going forward as indicated by Honorable Mkalipi. And Chair, I really hope that the Department of Cocta have done extensive diagnostic report of the challenges of this municipality. Where there are political challenges need to be resolved politically. Where there are administrative challenges need to be resolved administratively. I'm saying this because I'm from Free State and we have experience with Metsimaholo. If a diagnostic report is not done properly, it will still create problems going forward. And number two, Chair, I'm a bit concerned by the role of the provincial Cocta on this matter. When we were there almost 3 months ago, we raised a concern about poor service delivery. And the reason that we've requested the department to intervene there is because our interest was mostly on the communities of Ditsabotla. So when you look at the report that is being presented now, you'll realize that there's no changes in whatever that we have agreed on during that oversight meeting. So I would like to check with the provincial government as to, since our oversight and to date, what are the things that they have done in that municipality? Yes, we understand that there were challenges and now the municipality is going to be resolved. But in terms of service delivery, is there any improvement of the service, or the service delivery is still the same as the last time that we were there? And Chair, if they had encountered problems in dealing with the municipality as the provincial government, what were those challenges? And going forward, should there be challenges like the one of Ditsabotla? How are they going to deal with them? Because the challenges that we had in Ditsabotla is the same challenges that we have with 4 or 5 other municipalities. So if the development is going to be a solution, it means that in terms of service delivery for the past 2 or 3 months, it has been a lull. So people have not been receiving the services because there was instability. And when there is instability and when there are political challenges and administrative challenges, it means that the community is divided. So we also want to check a way forward as to what is the plan in terms of uniting the community, because it's a fact that when there are 2 groupings or 3 groupings in the municipality, that thing can also cascade to the community. So what is the plan in terms of restoring the dignity and professionality of the municipality after the dissolvement? Thank you, Chair.
Honorable Direko, let me thank you for your input. Can I then allow Honorable Hadebe with an H to take the floor?
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Cape Town, where the conditions are very bad, it's raining cats and dogs, Chair. Allow me not to switch on my video for good reception, Chair. I fully concur. This is a foregone conclusion, Chair, and I would support fully, wholeheartedly, the decision to dissolve this municipality. From what the Minister and the MEC have alluded to, these councillors, Chair, have not acted in the best interest of the municipality. In fact, they have brought the municipality into disrepute. They have not performed their function of office in good faith, honestly, and in a transparent manner. For the past 5 years, all what they've done, Chair, it's self-centered, self-serving interest. They have contributed to the job losses in that municipality. As such, Chair, I would like to strongly propose that these councillors who were at the helm of destroying this municipality should be declared delinquent councillors and must not be allowed to occupy office in the next coming elections, Chair. I know it's a political decision, but if we're serious about our work and if we are honest to the constituency that elected us, who have put faith in us to act at the best interest of the communities, we must do what has been done previously, where directors and senior officials have not performed. Those senior officials and directors have been declared delinquent. These councillors should learn the hard way that you do not play with the trust that has been entrusted upon you by the constituency by giving you their vote to act in the best interest of council. I'm raising this, Chair, because the dissolution of this municipality, it's a panado to the problems affecting that municipality. We need a detailed report that will give us a root cause analysis of what transpired so that we are able to prescribe or recommend possible solutions so that this problem does not occur in the future. Without that, Chair, we wouldn't be able to say here is a sustainable and everlasting solution to the challenges facing that municipality. But I strongly, Chair, propose that these councillors, I don't know from which political party, but those that are responsible, irregardless whether they are from my political party, Chair, and political organization, they have done the disservice to the community. They don't deserve another chance. And even if they can repent and confess their sins, it's too late for that. They failed to do it within the 5-year term. So ngesixhosa ke kuthiwa ayifidwa seyizoxhelwa. It's too late now. We're a few months towards the next local government election. They can confess and repent, but they would not do justice to the noble cause, that of professionalizing local government. Local government is at the cold face of service delivery. A local government, it's everyone's responsibility. So this committee, Chair, should move with speed and recommend, Chair, as such. I thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Hadebe. Honorable Direko, did you forget something? I see your hand is still up. Or is the old end?
My
I
apologies,
think
it's the old end.
we need that comprehensive report as the colleagues has recommended, starting from Honorable Kalipi as the first speaker. I think that report will assist us a great deal. The MEC is still coming. I think it's during the course of next week. That Fosi, you can then do that presentation. There's a slot for the MEC who's gonna be briefing us. So you're gonna do it on all the 5 ones. That decision, that analysis, if it can be shared with us in that meeting, it will assist us a great deal. And then there are those questions that need direct responses from the department and the MEC. I'll allow you to deal with those so that I think this meeting is not going to be as long as we thought it is, because the colleagues that have spoken on us getting this report, they were proposing a way forward, but there are those issues that need direct responses. Then we can see how do we infuse. There's a meeting that is scheduled for us to hear also on there's a day where we are meeting twice, also to hear on the progress on the administration of the province. I should think then those are the reports that we can deal with on those dates. Over to you, Emmy. Over to you, Chamber Fusi. Then the MEC will be the last to speak on these matters. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Chair and honorable members for the questions. Honorable Chair, I think on the presentation of a comprehensive report, I think we will be guided by the committee. I think we are ready to engage with the committee on that report, which will then detail the issues that have been raised in terms of understanding what the root causes are to the challenges. But just to say that, maybe to clarify also on the process, Chair, so Cabinet approved in principle that all the municipalities that require urgent attention, we must then look at taking those drastic actions. And the application of which mode of intervention, that's also a matter that must then be engaged between ourselves and the province to an extent where we're able to determine whether the dissolution should be effected by the province or it's an intervention mode that requires national to take over. So in the course now, we're in that process of engaging with provinces across the country. We've started with Northwest. We'll be also engaging with Limpopo and other provinces where there's these dysfunctional municipalities, and agree with them in terms of what needs to be done. The Cabinet has asked us to develop a municipal specific support and intervention package or plan, which must address those root causes, but also provide a clear roadmap of what steps needs to be undertaken to address the immediate challenges, but also ensure that in the medium to long term, these municipalities can be sustainable. And then these actions, Chair, will also take into account the issues that have been raised in terms of transitional arrangements now as we are approaching the elections. But the way as a department we have framed now this approach is that these municipal specific support and intervention packages or plans must not just be about dealing with the current problems. Even the next administration post the election must still be implementing these, because those municipalities will still be characterized or have the same sort of problems. If a municipality has been receiving disclaimer for the past 5 years, it means the new administration, as they come in, must then also have a clear plan on how they're going to be dealing with that. But already this process would have prepared those the new administration in terms of the plan that they will have to work on. So we'll look at how those processes must be addressed. Chair, there were quite a number of questions which I'm not sure I'm the appropriate person to respond to. and I think maybe the MEC is the appropriate person to respond to, because they are more political. For example, the question about what constitutes factions and so on. These are questions that I'm not able to respond to. But the so the support plans will respond to all the issues that honorable members, the concerns that have raised. The work that we've done with Treasury is to look at the hierarchy of intervention. So, for example, Section 139, subsection 5, it's a provision in the Constitution that because of the financial challenges, can also dissolve within that subsection. So we're going to look at all that hierarchy of interventions and determine which is the appropriate sort of mode of intervention that is required. But whichever mode we agree on, it must be a mode that must be sustainable. There are, of course, uncertainties now at this stage, which will need to legally also look at how those processes are managed, the implications of the recommendations of Judge Msenege and how that process is managed. So we're not at a stage where we can be definitive about what is going to be happening because those processes have not sort of been concluded. But whatever decision that we are taking around the resolution must then also be taken into account those processes, whether then, and there's legal also implications, of course, on all of these issues, which must also be addressed. Chair, the comments that I've noted are largely, Honorable Chair, political, which I'm not sure if I'm the appropriate person to respond to. Thank you very much.
You are very right. The MEC will deal with that. Thank you. MEC, over to you.
Thank you very much, leadership and the collective as a whole, and colleague Tate Fosi. Leadership, we will agree that as and when the issues are at the court, depending on the ruling of the court, we'll forever say this one is a mayor, the next day the mayor has changed. So because we don't want to engage in the contempt of court. So the court, for example, pronounced that Ntate Buthelezi is a mayor, but unfortunately the court did not rule. There were not prayers or made against IEC for reinstatement of Ntate Buthelezi. So they change at all material time. That is why our response last time said, even in the scenario where there are two mayors at one time, we do not necessarily have a situation where two mayors are paid, because it depends on who has won the battle at the court at a particular time. So it is true that as and when we were engaging during your visit, there was this recognition. However, it changes at all times. It is being complicated by removal now from the list. And we know we can say here that Ntate Buthelezi is not even a councillor. Forget about him being the mayor because of this complication. And that is the latest. But Chair, we for the first time, we must indicate that yes, of course, section 1391B, many of them that have been invoked for Ditsabotla did not necessarily change the material conditions, not even the AG, because we have had the increase on the UIFW with the Ditsabotla having had the qualified report for the last time in 2015, 2016. And today I can assure you that since then, Ditsabotla has been having disclaimer and there is no improvement. The unauthorized expenditure has increased to 87 million. The irregular expenditure, 111 million. Fruitless to 153 million. Since from 2016, 2017 to date, Ditsabotla has never adopted a funded budget. And the reason is simple. They would have a higher revenue target, but they would have a lesser achievement. And this has made Ditsabotla not to be financially viable. And it has been making effective finance management. And we agree that for the first time, we must make the intervention that will change the scenario of Ditsabotla. This is the reason why we have established the Intergovernmental Rapid Response Team, comprising of varying stakeholders, amongst them national and provincial COCTA, National Treasury, Department of Water and Sanitation, SALGA, Department of Mineral and Resources and Energy, Department of DDECT for purposes of economic development, Department of Transport and SANRAL. The rapid response will provide municipalities with service delivery, governance and financial management support, and other varying identified departments and entities would be assigning dedicated resources for the purposes of the rapid response team. And of course, to some extent, the provincial COCTA will source experts on a contract basis. A detailed provincial support and intervention plan has been worked on that deals with what we want to achieve on the immediately, medium term, and on the long term, and how we will be funding these interventions. And the funding would be coming from multiple sources, including the repurposing of MIC. I've made reference to the invocation of Section 20 of the DORA, where we are able to withhold some portion of the grant fund and make sure that the national implementing agencies utilize that grant to ensure service is delivered. Will be also taking from the WISIC Water Service Infrastructure Grant, the Regional Bulk Infrastructure Grant, and even the repurposing of the equitable share and CWP. Now, we can assure the Parliament that with the MISA-led rapid response team, we will make the serious impact. Another element is to do the simple thing. That is the major cause of the nightmares, where we are not able to hold people accountable. The reason is that the first step of accountability is records management, that we have said would have the AGSA moving in and helping us to establish the record management. That would not only help us with information and knowledge management, but it would also collapse the use of consultants, because we'd have systems that we can use to populate the GRAP for the purposes of developing the annual financial statement and the performance reports and hold people accountable. But that should also interface with the AG. So would not necessarily need the consultant who are being contracted when those who are occupying substantive posts for the same purpose are there. You would have taken note that we have spent more than 220 million on the consultants when the CFOs are occupying the offices in different municipalities. And we want to change that scenario. Now we will make the real change our immediate focus would be to ensure that we deal with service delivery, which is the key focus. But Chair, we also agree that when we dissolved Mamusa, there was no much of the improvement. But what is the difference? The difference is that we do not have a political instability that makes it very difficult for administration to make redress. We are deploying there Section 106 of the MSA investigators, for the purposes of us dealing with the material irregularities. And of course, we are also contemplating to subject Mamusa to business rescue, and we hope that it will help us. But what we must also explain is that as and when we dissolve the municipality, it is not even about saving one faction against another. Because we have tried to reorientate our terms of reference to the effect that it will help us to establish system, processes and procedures that would be able to resist even change of political leadership and administrative capacities as and when electoral vote changes. Because we shouldn't have the system that would be undermined by the interest of the individual political leadership or the composition of the political structures of the municipalities. What has been the limitations with our section 1391B, other than the terms of reference that the AG raised concern about? It has been the intervention that have sought to overshadow the role of the political composition of the municipality. And we know section 160 subsection 2 of the Constitution dictates that there are other responsibilities of the council that cannot be delegated to any other structure, but it should be done by the council itself. Now, the relationship of the intervention team with the established internal administration, including the political composition, is very important for the purposes of sustainability beyond the intervention. But the second important limitation has been the period of time. We have always said 6 months. And I wonder which magic formula we can use to change the accumulative problems that happened over multiple years, over 6 months. This is a reason why this time we are saying our intervention must continue until we are able to resolve on those things that we want to redress on. It's unfortunate that the change of the electoral vote would dictate otherwise, to the point that we might have to intervene only up until the time of the new political term. Chair, we should explain this issue of Kluwer in the contextual understanding of the determinations made by the competition tribunal that there shouldn't be any loss of job for over the period of 3 years, agreeing that the company may restructure and so on and rationalize. But secondly, that there should be some creation of additional new jobs. And the understanding is that as and when Kluwer moves, must give the offer to the employees to move with them. And this is a reason why we have involved the competition tribunal. And Chair, I've made mention of the financial mail report of the 24th of June, 2016, where Kluwer indicated its future plans. And Chair, 2018, when even military moved in and make redress on many other issues, including around waste management and so on, there was a meaningful change. And I've said, nevertheless, the plans were already pronounced, picking up the issue of challenges of the municipality, as if where Kluwer wants to relocate is not also challenged, is another matter. It is not a contestation, but a view that remains battable, that Kluwer could have moved because of the business interest, and we have outlined why, including that it is using 200,000 liters of milk that comes from KZN and has wanted to move into export business. If that doesn't mean there were no problems, whether of the internal roads, waste management, and so on. Yes, we agree there are those problems. Others are just similar with the problems that are being experienced by the municipalities where Kluwer is moving to. But we'd agree when you move to KZN and you are close to the port harbors there, it makes your decision easy to find expression, particularly on export business. We can have all the other views, would not dispute them. We have had the scenario with this municipality where the late MEC and the premier were violently removed from the council chamber by the same councillors who are there when they were making effort to make intervention. We agree that municipalities remain a sphere and they are able to function with support of the provincial and national, and not necessarily their interventions until there are problems, and those problems agitate the intervention. It's only when we are able to come in. Chair, the equitable share would even not be a system because we have the increasing number of employees now. That is why we said the municipality, despite not having money for service, have decided to just employ many more other. So this is a very serious problem. But it is worse when we are given documentations that show that this municipality in particular, has chosen to employ relatives of managers and councillors. It's worse. It's a matter that we can make available to the community so that they must also appreciate why really we have to take drastic steps when dealing with this municipality. Chair, we wrote a letter to the municipality at one point saying, look, even your acting municipal manager is not meeting inherent requirements, and that was ignored, and made many other decisions that have increased irregularity. And Chair, we are not going to take it easy. We will be looking into how we should recover any irregularity as a result of such action where we have made an indication of a wrongdoing on the part of the council. And this is a reason why we might have to apply for a preservation order to withhold the pensions, agreeing with Salga that on all these irregularities, we must want to recover the losses of the municipality. The people must learn that would not agree with arrogance that makes the political leadership of the municipality to ignore considering the constitutional legislative policy imperatives. They can be politically connected and powerful, but all of us would be required that we observe the legislation, and that the legislation becomes the point of divergence and where we are meeting or departing. And they would usually accuse you of either taking side. When at Chwain they said I must dismiss 9 councillors and he refused, and one side celebrated. But when they said they have appointed, another side have appointed a municipal manager from the street, and we said we also don't recognize that because it is irregular. They said, you are factional. So really we care less on their view, because that views are not necessarily based on what the law provides for. And we would always want to be correct, because we don't want to be arrested for the failure to make sure that we exercise oversight. So the closeout report would be made available, and we will make effort to make available the close-out report of all these varying interventions. But on the issue of the Potchefstroom meeting, I'm not aware of any Potchefstroom meeting. I'm not sure if even if it means the meeting of the party, because I'm not sitting in the party structure. But Chair, what we know as what we have processed with MISA or COCTA is that we will have both national and provincial administrators deployed to make these interventions. And we have not made the decision on who would be deployed as administrator. When you look at the draft bill or the bill on and around Section 100 and Section 139 interventions, it prescribed that there would be a national database. But also, there is a policy of SALGA on how we should deploy the administrator other than our database. The problem with our database at the level of the province, I would explain, is that it was processed as if it is a tender, where even people who meet inherent requirements were excluded. So we don't really understand why. But also, we know that if you were manager and you were subjected to security vetting, it takes different period of time, 2 years, 3 years, and even 10 years, depending on the level of a person. And any of those can be deployed. But we do not have any list to this far on who we will deploy. And it might also be a reason why we should even have a walk-in application policy, so that in the event where you have a person whose contract is ending as a DG or DDG and is not necessarily on the database and has had these processes of employment in the public service done on that person, we can get this person to be deployed, especially when they have the capacity and meeting the inherent requirement. The political composition of the leadership of the municipality is not the competence of the provincial government nor national government. It remains a decision of the party. The only issue is whether or not they are complying to the prescripts, including their own standing rules, as and when they nominate, elect, and decide on that political leadership. That's only when we are coming in. But whoever is decided upon as the mayor and so on would not really have a problem. But problems can come from there.
MEC, I think this is a gift for you from above. We know you can talk and talk. That's one thing that you are gifted on. And I think you have managed to respond to all these issues. As the mere fact that we're meeting with you again on the 3rd.
Okay, thank you very much. Maybe I will pause here.
Yeah, we are meeting with you on the 3rd. That's what I wanted to also alert Temba Fosi. Our program is you are having on the 3rd, we have got a report from yourself, MEC, on the issues raised throughout the oversight visits by the committee, which means then Temba Fosi must also include that report on the 5 municipalities that are subject to this 139 1C intervention as per the decision of the cabinet. Then it then gives us an opportunity to then will have an opportunity to engage with yourselves. I should think then we will have to end this. If we don't finish by 12:30, we are going to proceed from 13:30 up to 17 hours, where we'll also be getting a report on the impact on the state of governance in the entire province and the impact of Section 100. The beauty about it, the premier will also be in our meeting. So we'll have a lot of time to also reflect on these issues, governance challenges around the province. So let me take this opportunity to thank you. I assured the colleagues the meeting was going to end at 12. That's why I had to stop you, MEC. Honorable Glazer, is there an issue here?
No, I just wanted to tease my friend, the minister. I mean, the
Chairman
MEC.
Mao.
MEC,
MEC.
you spoke about, he's my friend. MEC, the nature of the Section 139 interventions are such that you only react when there is a problem. Meaning that in the manner in which it's put, Chair, there, it says when a municipality cannot or does not fulfill an executive program. It says when. That means that it says when there's a problem. Do administrators or do you as an MEC have proactive measures to anticipate that in that municipality, such as Ditsabotla, there will be a problem there? So I put measures in place there. And secondly, and lastly, Chair, on the rapid response team, you spoke about sourcing the expertise on contractual basis. Do you have a calculation of how much this will cost the department? Thank you.
Yeah, I think these are the issues that the MEC can respond to when we reconvene, Honorable Glazer. We're meeting with him just next week. We've given him a food for thought.
Sure.
Consider as we're going to, it's just Tuesday. Yes. So the MEC knows now what needs to, and what would be the attitude of the colleagues towards that. Then we can then thank you, MEC, for always being available for us. It's like part of your responsibility. You've been interacting more with this committee. I'm interested also in those issues raised by traditional leaders. I'm trying to, because there we had traditional leaders that were very sarcastic, that we're used to this type of gatherings. Nothing happens. I felt personally so insulted that day, but I hope the MEC have made a lot of progress to that effect. You remember our experience in Akamudir. I still can't lift my head since that day, based on this issue, on those issues that were raised towards us as public representatives, that we only visible during elections. When we leave and when there are issues that affect our people, we are nowhere to be found. I'm looking forward to that progress, in particular on the issues that were raised by the traditional leaders and any other issues that we raised, that the MEC will be sharing with us the progress is made thus far. We want to thank you, MEC, for always being available to us whenever we call you to be with us. Safe to say the mishap of the morning, but it's okay. We learn each day. Colleagues, we will reconvene on Tuesday when we get these reports. A cocktail, the report will be on the intervention. That report has already been shared with the NCOP, as the minister last time told us he has to share the report with the NCOP. So you will be giving us that report, Temba, on the 100 intervention. And then the message to the Premier MEC will also want to hear the Premier's view on these matters. You need to make a presentation on how have you navigate in response to the 100 intervention, as it yielded results. What are the impediments? So that's the message that you need to tell, and we'll appreciate the Premier to be in the meeting. If there are other commitments, talk to him to then relook at his diary. We need him from 13:30 on the 30th. Thank you so much, MEC. Thank you so much, colleagues. Till we meet, thank you, Salga. Thank you, Temba and Tim.
Thank you, Chair.
The meeting gets adjourned.
Thank you, Chair.
Bye-bye,
Thank you,
MEC.
Chair.
Bye-bye, MEC.
Olibuwa.
Olibuwa ngamanda.
Zwavhuḓi Honorable Tlhaisa ri khou livhuwa.
Thank you, Chairperson.
Thanks, Chairperson. Thanks very much. Thanks very much.